Peace. Thanks for tuning in and welcome to FlyDialogue. Yo, we chopping it up with D1 highlights based in Nashville, Tennessee, baby. From the dynamic duo, we got my man DC Woodmore putting us on game about high school football around Tennessee, name, image, and likeness, and more. Let's go. So, how has the high school football community in Tennessee responded to you guys' efforts, to D1 highlights efforts? Like in my head, I'm thinking like, what's the best possible response that you could imagine or that's already happened at this point? Like what's what does that look like?
To answer your question in short, the response has been great. You know, parents, administration, obviously the students, the coaches, they love us. They love us. They love anytime that, you know, you come out to these smaller towns, these small rural cities, and we can come out and showcase their kids, their student athletes, them winning, their coaches. I'll give you a quick example of the embracement of like love that we have received. So Evan, I call Evan the president of Cornersville, which Cornersville is south, almost on the Tennessee Alabama line. Okay, Cornersville, Tennessee.
Okay.
So I call him
down south. Okay.
Yeah, we get out of the mud. We're all over the place. We go across the state. We're all over the place. Yeah. But and I didn't get a chance to go down there, but Evan visited Cornersville quite a few times when we first got started. And when I say they rolled out the red carpet for him when he comes to Cornersville High School, I mean, it's like, oh, Evan, D1 highlights, good to see you. But I bring that up because the communities have embraced us across the state. They appreciate us coming again. They appreciate us showcasing their towns, again, their kids. And not just the schools and administration, but even in Tennessee, we also have what are called these different high school football programs. These high school football. So once football is over with during the season, a lot of these young men go to these different camps around the state. And I'll speak for Nashville. You know, there's a few really great ones here in Nashville, whether it be On Top Athletics, Elite 3, Tennessee Select, National Playmakers Academy.
Okay, I've heard of Playmakers. I've heard of
Playmakers.
Okay.
Yeah. A lot of these coaches, and I like to call them like they're off-season coaches / 7-on-7 coaches / training coaches. They have embraced us as well because we get a chance to, once football season's over with and we can't really showcase the schools anymore or the communities, we get a chance to showcase these different facilities, these different workout tight-knit communities of training regimens, training facilities. You know, just recently I was at a camp with Coach Chavez Job. He was a founder himself, and Coach Thompson, a founder of On Top Athletics. And I was at a camp with them about 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Yeah,
I bring them up as just one that has embraced us. I remember when they started, which is funny, they started about the same time we did in regard to like him starting his training facility, training camps.
Yeah.
And we just kind of worked neck and neck with one another, and just he had the kids that were training. We had the cameras, the social media presence and all that. And we just kind of meshed the two of them together, which ultimately made the perfect storm. Nice. And Job and Mo have done a really good job out there on Top Athletics. They're two big claim to things right now. For example, he's got a young man, Zion Loeb, that just won his second national championship at Georgia. And then he has another young man, Colton Dow, who is actually training right now to go into the draft. But, I bring them up just to show not just Job and them at On Top Athletics, but again, Tennessee Select, Playmakers Academy, Elite 3, everyone has embraced us across the board. It's really cool to see that and harbor and build those relationships up.
Yeah. If money makes a man strange, we got to rearrange that. So what makes the world go round? Listen, I don't know. Gotta change the way it's going.
Why would anyone not want to quote unquote partner with you? Why would anyone have an issue with you being in this space? Because you're advocating for so many different people at the same time, man. You're kind of in the middle. You're advocating for the student athlete. You're advocating for the coaches, for the universities they represent, for the schools that the kids represent. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot, man. I mean, in my head, like as I'm just saying that, man, there's a lot that you guys are doing.
It's it is funny because I tell people this story, Khalid. When we first started year one, no one knew who we were. No one knew who we were. I can tell you stories of Evan and I getting turned around at stadium gates, going to high school games, and it was just like, oh man, like it was just it's funny to think back 10 years ago to now, where year one we're walking to the gates, we got our little cameras, and we're ready to go and get some footage, and like, who are you all? Well, no, you have to go and pay over at the ticket office, and we're like, we're media. Like, okay, we still have to go over to the go.
Right, it's that way. It's that
way. So now, right. It's like we're giving high fives walking into the stadiums now. Right. Oh, hey,
can't wait to see it
here.
Can't wait to see it.
Yeah, it has definitely been a journey. And, but it is funny because the parents embraced this, but like honestly, at the time, the school administrations didn't, because they didn't know. They just saw these two guys coming in with this camera equipment. Like, who are you all? I get it, because as administration, you're supposed to protect the kids, protect the students, and so I get it. But it's just a fascinating story looking from then to now. I mean, now I'm walking into a gate. I almost want to live by, what is Cedric the Entertainer say? I almost live by the wish theory. I wish someone would try to stop me walking into a gate. It's funny because now we are an accredited TSSAA media outlet. Like, we get votes from Mr. Football. We go and cover the state championships. We're an affiliated partner with TSSAA. So we get all these different really cool things that we do now that it was unimaginable 10 years ago.
Nah, it's on the website, man. That was the first thing I saw. I was like, oh man, this is official. They're locked in, man. They're partnered with as far as I know, that's the biggest high school athletics organization that you could be a part. I don't know if there's anything greater than that. So
you've got here in Tennessee, the Mecca obviously is TSSAA. Is the Mecca, which obviously we're an accredited partner media outlet with them. Sure. I've got a partner of mine, Riley Howard, with Elite 3. He's doing some really big things with his company. He has established the Nashville All-Star Game that he does every year. Well, I say every year. He's done it 2 years in a row. He started last year, then he did it again this year. Yeah. But he's established that. And that's going to be a big deal because he is eventually trying to compete with like the U.S. The U.S. All-Star Army All-Star Game that's in the Alamo, or the Under Armour Bowl. I believe it's in Orlando. He's bringing it here to Nashville, though. He has started his own All-Star Game, and that's going to be a big deal. Which Evan and I, he has asked Evan and I to be the play callers for that. We've been the play calling for that game the past 2 years, doing that. So that's a big deal. Like, I can see that, 5-10 years from now, like being a big deal, especially here in the southeast part of the country, here the Mecca of football, high school football. It's going to be a big deal.
That's a great partnership, man. Hats off to him, man, for pulling y'all in, man, to do it, man. How do you like play calling, man?
It's dope. It's fun. If I don't know if you remember, so back in college, our Vol State days, Evan and I were DJs on 88.5. I'm gonna take you back here. I'm gonna take you back.
Really? I didn't know that.
Do you remember before 101 got to Nashville?
Yep.
we only had 92Q at the time.
It was 92. Yeah.
On Sunday nights, 92Q only played R&B. If you remember that, there was no really hip hop or rap. It was just, you know, Sunday night, the slow jams.
Yeah, I was about to say the Quiet Storm kickoff.
Quiet Storm. Yes. So Evan and I, for about 4 or 5 years, we had our own radio show on 88.5 at Vol State out in Gallatin, and we were nationally broadcasted regionally.
Yeah.
You know, Nashville, Mount Juliet, Gallatin, Smyrna, you know, Middle Tennessee.
Yeah.
So I bring that up to correlate with, you know, the play calling. It just comes natural because, you know, you put me in front of a camera or a mic, and I'm being able to talk about something that I enjoy, love. It's easy for me. So that experience being DJs at the time, I was, you know, I loved music, still love music, but, you know, loved music. I love DJing. I love getting on the radio, just talking about whatever was going on in the culture at the time. And then to be able to use that skill set, you know, 20 years later, as Riley was asking us to get on here and play call, it's fun. We have a good time because it's again for Riley, and I think I can answer and say this for him, is he's doing this for the culture. Riley marches to the beat of his own drum, as he should. He has built an amazing program with Elite 3, and this All-Star game that he does, it's dope. He lets us be ourselves. Like, man, we up there cracking jokes while we're calling the game, and you know, giving kids nicknames.
Sound like Barkley and Kenny. Sound like Barkley and Kenny on TNT, man.
I would definitely compare it to that for sure.
Be sure to visit FlyDialogue.com to find out more about us, including our radio station where we stream hip-hop 24/7. Yo, we're literally jamming as we speak. We got a craft beer blog called Cream. Craft rules everything around me. You can find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, the craft beer app called Untapped, or on YouTube. Just search Fly Dialogue on all these platforms. Be sure to follow us and friend us, subscribe to us. Long story short, check us out. We'd love to have y'all, and we look forward to connecting with you. And let's talk soon.